welcome to Hell's Bitchin episode 2.
We thought of the name.
Shout out to our brother Chance. He thought of the name. But it's a good one. I'm Sam.
I'm Max.
And we're here to take you on an audio journey through the history of all things Ramsay, meaning Gordon Ramsay, or as I like to affectionately refer to him, Gordo. Old Gordo Ramsay.
I do not.
Well, it's gonna happen. So we're here.
I'm around.
Okay, whatever. So we are here to take you on a journey through the history of all things Ramsay, for the children, of course, to preserve for future generations when the world has been destroyed and there is no TV, but there are still podcasts.
What a very specific, weird future
So
we've come up with.
This is your Gordon Ramsay podcast for the apocalypse. We started out last week with our very first episode ever, and we started out with Gordon Ramsay's introduction to American television, Hell's Kitchen Season 1, which originally debuted in 2005. So if you haven't heard our first episode and you're interested in the backstory of all these characters that you're going to come to love or hate, or love to hate, then be sure you check out the first episode, because we're diving right in with Season 1, Episode 2. Max, would you like to say anything?
He's coming, America.
He's coming, America. So, as we said last week, the first, 6 episodes of this first season of Hell's Kitchen, they have this 3-minute intro where they're like, guess what? This is Gordon Ramsay. He's a chef from England. Here's why you should give a shit.
You're not ready.
He was voted best chef after only having a restaurant for 2 years, and he's been the best chef in England for 9 years now.
You can hear his accomplishments in every knife stroke.
Right. Every yell at the people, you can tell that he's very accomplished. But okay, so I have some different notes on the opening. I feel like every time we see this big opening,
we notice something different.
Yeah, exactly. Like last week, I noticed that Gordon Ramsay goes, fromage, whenever he's taking a picture, which I love.
And this week I noticed when they're going through the horrible guitar riff and they're pointing out all the names, they're just shitty green screen portraits that are cut off
at the waist,
at the not even at the waist, below the shoulders.
I don't know. Jeff's was cut off below the way, I thought. Maybe I didn't see it.
It wasn't. It was midway, mid-torso.
Nipple height?
Yeah.
They cut them all off at the nips. Well, I gotta backtrack a little bit because... Okay, so the episode starts out as the first episode did, where it goes... And it goes... London, England, known for its architecture... Question mark? That's the first thing he says. Known for its architecture.
Is that what they're known for?
That's what I said. I wrote, my note says, known for its architecture, 2 question marks. Architecture, like what? The big clock?
The bridge?
The big house?
The water? They made that.
The Thames. The bad boy of celebrity chefs is what they called Gordon Ramsay, by the way.
Was that just this week?
No, that was in that first opening. Last week, there was just so much to take in. They were hyping up Gordon so much. Sorry, Gordo. They were hyping up Gordo so much, and then we missed that they said England is known for its architecture and that he's the bad boy of celebrity chefs. And then they say, they show a clip of all the contestants sitting out on their smoking deck where they all just sit and chain smoke whenever they're not in the kitchen. And
it's not stressful, you guys.
Right. And then someone's like, he's like the Simon Cowell of chefs, and someone goes, he's way worse than Simon Cowell.
Yeah,
and I would just like
Simon
to say,
Cowell's relevant.
I would just like to say, as a One Direction fan, no one is worse than Simon Cowell. Anyway. That's going to be very cryptic that only 6 people in the universe will understand.
All right.
And then we go straight to that classic American anthem. How does it go? I forgot how it goes.
Everything's on fire. It's not even on fire. Everything's just tinted red. You want to get a Super Nintendo?
Sorry. Did it sound that much like it that I could get a suit? Yes. Thank you. Anyway, yeah, so the theme of this show is fire or hell, and also kitchens. Hell's Kitchen with Gordon Ramsay. But yeah, that great song, and it's just that my favorite loop of footage I've ever seen, where Gordon looks to the left, looks to the right, looks to the left,
and Gordon shakes his
head, looks to the center, looks to the left, looks to the right, looks to the left, shake, 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 Look to the center. Huh. Meanwhile, why can't I remember how the theme song goes this week?
I don't know.
So
that's 5 minutes going over the intro again.
Well, I mean, there's a lot to unpack. Yeah, so it starts out, it says, and now the continuation of Hell's Kitchen.
As if it's a saga.
Yeah, like, as if it's like a soap opera, even.
It pretty much is. Honestly.
Yeah, it might as well be. But it picks up literally right where it left off. Like, he just sent Carol Ann home, and they've got to go back to the dorms or whatever.
Yeah, there was that shocking betrayal by Elsie.
Right, where she put up Dewberry for elimination after she told him that he would be fine.
To be fair, he cornered her. He was like, oh, I don't want to go home.
He's like, well, it would sure be a shame for me to go home this week. And Elsie was like, you're not going home. Okay, fine. And then she put Dewberry up for elimination because she thought that he would send Dewberry home instead of Carol Ann. But he sent Carol Ann home because she gave up on the team. And we talked about last week how much of a bummer that was. But then, so it picks up literally right where it left off. And it's like,
it's time for bed.
Yeah, and he's like, now safe from elimination. Dewberry seeks a moment of peace. And he's like in the bathroom.
Like, he's like unbuttoning his like jacket. He's like
in the bathroom, like about to like wash his hands or brush his teeth or something.
And then it goes, but he's not alone.
And Elsie comes out of the stall.
Like with a toilet flush sound effect.
Yeah, like, and so Elsie's there and she just looks at him and she just kind of gives him like this like, what's up, like smile, like a timid like, hey bud. Like, sorry,
yeah,
almost.
And meanwhile Dewberry's like doing his like interview. He's like, if it were like,
he said it's hard to hold a grudge.
It's hard to hold a grudge, but if it were me picking next time, there's gonna be payback.
Yeah, so watch out, Elsie.
I guess.
Yeah, because Dewberry's coming for you. Blueberry's coming for you. But yeah, so that drama that they hyped up where Elsie betrayed Dewberry and put him up for elimination was literally over within the first 30 seconds of the actual program of Hell's Kitchen. Because the first 5 minutes of the program is the intro. My next note said, Jeff is such a bitch. Because, okay, so Gordo, and the last elimination was like, Jeff, you really dodged a bullet tonight. He was like, man, I fucking hate you, bud.
Yeah, Gordon's like, oh god, I wish I could just throw you into this oven right now.
Yeah, he's like, I wish I could burn you and skin you alive, Jeff. I hate you so much.
I'd serve you to the Hell's Kitchen.
Right, and so then they're, everybody else is just chilling, aside from Dewberry and Elsie, who are having their quiet bathroom moment. And everyone's just chilling, and Jeff is like,
well, swear you never tell anyone about our bathroom moment.
Yeah, but Ralph keeps going, he wanted you something bad, bud. He wanted you something bad. I swear to God, he said that sentence. He wanted you something bad.
Yeah, he said
at least 6 times.
He said it like 3 times, but okay.
Well, at least 6. But yeah, so Jeff is just a bitch, and he's just, for those of you who may have forgotten, Jeff was one of the ones that had to serve tables that for some reason, I don't even really understand, but he for some reason did such an abysmal job at being a server that Gordon Ramsay was like, I want his head on a platter and I want it today. Like, I don't remember what he did that was so bad that Gordon was like, I'm going to kill this guy. He was just really bad at being a server, I guess. But so Jeff, of course, is back here being such a bitch, and he's like, well, now I guess I gotta do better. And, like, everyone's like, oh, you got so lucky. And he's like, yeah, well, what am I supposed to do? Like,
I'm sad. I'm upset, you guys.
He just gets so defensive, and he's just, like, bitchy. He's just a bitch.
I think everybody in 2005 was a bitch, honestly.
Well, he's the worst.
There's another note I made. It's not about the show, but just about, like, these shows back in 2005. In these competition shows, nobody lives in dorms anymore. Have you noticed that?
Well, like we said, it's like the Big Brother time.
Yeah.
Because, like, they all, like, have a room with, like, 2 people per room.
Yeah, they share bunk beds.
Do they have bunk beds in this?
No, I'm just talking in general.
Oh, yeah.
So they may live just on an island. They may just live under a leaf.
Yeah, like Survivor.
And, like, even in Skin Wars, they're just in this, like, big fancy condo. And
Skin Wars is different, because Skin Wars was a 2005 show that came out in, like, 2011. So, you can't really talk about Skin Wars at all, because, like, people like Gear exist.
People like Gear do exist. But yeah, like, they don't do these reality shows like they used to.
Reality TV just ain't what it used to be. Well, and 2005 was like the peak of reality TV, like when it was first getting its start also.
Yeah.
You know, like before The Miz was The Miz, right? Because he was just on The Real World. And he was like, I want to be a wrestler. And everyone was like, you can't do it, The Miz. And then he did. And now he's got the most beautiful wife in the world.
And his name is The Miz.
Yeah, I love him.
On his birth certificate, it says first name the.
First name ever. Last name greatest. Wait. Last name ever. First name greatest. Like a sprained ankle, boy, ain't nothing to play with.
Okay,
so the voiceover says, you know, after a stressful day in Hell's Kitchen, the contestants want to get some sleep, but they didn't know that there's an early rise, blah blah blah, and there's
like
sous chefs
are just like coming and banging pots.
Yeah,
just like trying to like get the fuck up, get the fuck up.
My note says, I ain't get no sleep because of y'all. Y'all ain't get no sleep because of me.
Way to like retroactively date this podcast by referencing.
That's a classic.
It is a classic.
It's probably from an episode of the Bad Girls Club that came out in like 2005.
I just remember seeing it on the Soup.
It's a classic. But yeah, so they come in banging pots and pans and they're like, don't even get dressed. Just get to the kitchen right now. Don't you do anything. You better get to the kitchen.
And like everybody goes to the kitchen except for Chris.
Chris, if you'll remember, is the executive chef who Gordo also hates because he's just an asshole. Like every time he always is like talking back and like just doesn't do anything worthwhile. You know, he's just like a dick. He's pretentious. Like you can tell just by looking at him. You're like, man, this guy thinks he's hot shit.
Yeah. So everybody is like in the dining room, but like everyone's gathered together. But we're all
Michael is literally in his boxers. Michael did not even put pants on before he went in there because that is how scared he was of the sous chefs and of Gordo.
Of Gordon. But everybody's waiting. And like it cuts to Chris. He's like brushing his teeth. He's like washing his face.
He's like taking his sweet ass time. And then they're like a full 7 minutes.
Like you need to wipe your ass too, dude.
They're like a full 7 minutes after the rest of the teams arrive. Chris finally decides to show up.
7 minutes. Imagine making somebody wait 7 minutes.
I would never. 7 minutes is not that long, but still. I guess
like this in Hell's Kitchen, every second counts.
When everyone's like, when everybody's already there and you're waiting and it takes 7 minutes, I guess I get it. But yeah, he takes 7 minutes and Gordon's like, oh my God, just another reason to hate him, dude. And like, I have a note, Michael is literally in his boxers. He legitimately did not put any pants on to go to the kitchen. That is commitment. And that's going to pay off for him in the long run. I can feel it. So anyway, so they're all in their PJs. And they gotta go.
Gordon's like, challenge time.
Mm-hmm. He's like, it's challenge time. They don't even really tell you what time it is. Like, they make you think it's like 4 a.m., but it's probably like 7:30. But yeah, so they have to go clean out a bunch of squid. And
they had it set up like with like beautiful silver platters, and I'm just like, oh no, food.
And then they take it off. And it's all yucky squids, all slimy. And Dewberry's like, I hate everything from the sea.
He's like, I hate fish. So
yeah,
much.
he said anything that comes out of the sea, he hates it, right? And so they have to clean out these squids. So they have to like pull everything out of it and like gut it and clean it and not poke a hole in the squid, which is apparently super tough. And then the winning team gets to have dinner with Gordo, which is a huge honor.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
and everybody did amazing.
Well,
not.
Hang on. You're skipping one of the most important parts of this episode in which Elsie made a good dick joke.
We have to go over everybody's performance.
So part of the process of cleaning a squid is that you have to like pull out all the guts from the inside and then like roll it over a cucumber like it's a fucking condom demonstration, right? And Elsie goes, Dewberry was handling that cucumber pretty well. Although, I guess I'd expect all the guys to handle that pretty well. And I was like, ha ha ha.
And it like had a beat where she would have winked if she thought about it.
She didn't need to wink. She's got her own natural charm. But it was so funny. My note says, good dick joke, Elsie. Because I thought it was so funny.
I just wrote, dick joke. Also, who hates seafood? Which I guess people do. But with Dewberry, it's like kind of nonsense.
Yeah, so Elsie makes a good dick joke, and then they all get to gutting and cleaning some squids.
Yeah,
and stuff. Like, and it's the team who has the
most number of perfect squid.
Yeah, so no holes, no skin left on them. They've got to like skin them and gut them and clean them and somehow manage to not poke a hole in it, which is apparently impossible. Then afterwards, they get 10 minutes to do it, which doesn't seem like a whole lot of time. And then he counts them all out. He examines each one that they present. Like everybody gets one on the red team except for Chris. or like Chris gave him 4, but only one of them was actually good.
Yeah.
And Gordon was like, Mr. Executive Chef, like, oh, let's see what Mr. Executive Chef can do, blah, blah, blah. And he just like hates him. He despises him.
Well, he talks a big game.
Yeah, he talks a big game, and then he puts up 3 shitty squid and 1 okay one.
So that was the red team.
That was the red team, yeah. They got 6. They got 6 in total.
Yeah.
Elsie got 2. She's killing it. Right? Was it? Yeah, Elsie got 2. She's killing it. Yeah. And so then the blue team.
Oh, Michael had to sit out. Michael's on the blue team. He had to sit out
that's
because he already knew how to like clean and gut fish.
Yeah, so it's the blue team minus Michael. So it's Andrew, the punk ass kid, Wendy, the perfectionist / moron, Ralph, who was a server, who's also like a restaurateur, Jessica, the headhunter with the spiky hair, and then Mary Ellen, who's a bartender, and then Michael, but he had to sit out because he already knew how to clean a squid. So the blue team goes, and Wendy, the voiceover calls her like self-described perfectionist Wendy, like, because she's always like, I think that Gordon will appreciate that I'm a perfectionist, and then she like does like everything 3 or 4 wrong.
Times. She's like, yeah. I think Gordon will really appreciate that I'm a perfectionist.
But then she doesn't do anything right. She does literally nothing perfectly. She didn't get any squid on the table, right? She didn't get any squid on the table because one had a big old hole in it. And so they got to, it was like 6 on the red team and 5. And then it went to Andrew. He was the last one, this punk ass kid who thinks he's hot shit. And Gordon's like, this has a hole in it. There's skin on this. None of them are good. Blue team loses. But so they go back to the dorms, and Andrew is saying that there was absolutely not a hole. There's no way. And like Wendy was like, yeah, there was no hole in mine either. So they think that Gordon like cheated or like lied, right?
I don't know. I think they're just bitter.
Well, yeah, but he's like, there's no way that there was a hole in it. So I think that they legitimately think that like Gordon is favoring the red team over the blue team. But so the blue team loses, and the red team gets to go to dinner with Gordon while the whole blue team has to prep all the squid for like the next night's dinner service. So, and like they have dinner like in the dining room at Hell's Kitchen, like where the blue team can watch it happen.
And they're like, I want to be in the room where it happens so bad.
I know.
Okay, so they have dinner. Everybody's chill. Everyone wants to clean a squid. And then they go to bed to get ready for dinner service tomorrow night. And then, whoa, suddenly Jeff has kidney stones.
He's like literally laying in the hallway like,
He's like, oh. He's like, my tummy.
He's literally like laying in the floor, and he's like,
and like Jessica comes up to him and she's like, you're okay? Whatever.
Yeah, she literally leaves him there because he's like leaning against the wall, and she touches him on the shoulder, and he like collapses to the floor, and she just goes, whatever, and just like leaves him, which I think might be one of my favorite Jessica moments ever, because otherwise she's a bitch. I guess she was being a bitch in that moment, but I hate Jeff so much that it's okay.
Okay, so Jeff is literally like collapsed in the hallway, groaning about his kidneys, but he doesn't call the doctor for some reason.
Yeah, so he has a history of kidney stones, and he got one really bad, and it's like, oh, the worst time to get one. And he's all laid up in bed, but like he doesn't take a break or anything. Like he keeps going, but he's just like, oh, I don't feel so good.
Oh, my tummy. I mean, my kidney.
Right.
That's Jeff.
Yeah. So, but he was totally fine at Gordon's dinner. Well, I guess he says he got the kidney stone after dinner with Gordon.
That's some fast acting kidney stones.
I know, right? But yeah, so Jeff's
just
like,
I don't know how kidney stones work.
Neither. No, they suck. But Jeff's faking it 100%. But yeah, so he's just like laying in the hallway groaning, and everybody's just like...
Do you think if we confronted him about it today, he would say I wasn't faking it?
Listen, I know a little bit about the next upcoming episode that I can't tell you about, but there will be some resolution to the kidney stone story. Just so you know. We'll get some closure.
I need to know how this kidney stone arc ends.
Yeah, the kidney stone era. But yeah, I think he's faking it. No matter what anybody says, I think he's faking it. Or at least playing it up like crazy. Although kidney stones do hurt, but also I hate this guy, so whatever.
Also, he didn't call anybody.
Yeah, he didn't tell anybody. He didn't even go to the bathroom. He was just laying in the hallway, trying to disrupt as many people as possible by just like
he's still like in his button-up shirt and tie, just like, oh, my tummy.
Yeah, man, he's just being an asshole, as per. But anyway, so the next day, everybody's fine, right? And so
except
they go...
Jeff, clearly.
Except Jeff, clearly. So they go to do the dinner service, and Gordo tells the blue team, hey, by the way, that wasn't the end of your punishment. Also, you have no air conditioning for this whole service. And then the sous chef puts up this big ass thermometer on the wall, and he's like, "There's your thermometer."
Now it's really Hell's Kitchen.
Now it's legitimately Hell's Kitchen, because Gordo says that his first night he opened his restaurant, his AC went out. So it's the curse of Gordo's past that now their AC is out. They get started in the dinner service. Blue Kitchen, it's super duper hot. I have a question. I have a sentence here that's written, spaghetti app?
What?
And no, I was not thinking of a new app idea for spaghetti. It's because they serve spaghetti as an appetizer.
Oh, yeah.
I will never understand fine dining, honestly.
That's a meal.
Like, they give them a plate of spaghetti as an appetizer.
It's a big plate of spaghetti, too.
Yeah, like, it's good size. But Dewberry does a good job. Dewberry.
Yeah, Dewberry did good, question mark?
Question mark? He takes the spaghetti up, and Gordo's like, "Did you taste it?" And he's like, "No." And he's like, "Okay, then taste it." And so Dewberry takes, like, the most uncoordinated bite of anything I've ever seen. Like, he uses I guess you're supposed to use a spoon, aren't you?
Yeah. But it's like
I don't know anything about fine dining.
It's like he's steering a ship toward a glacier. He's just like...
Yeah, it's really discombobulated.
Like, I'm just like, what's happening there, bud? And
then he eats it like that video of that dog trying to eat a meatball. Anyway. Only true Vine friends will remember that one. But yeah, so he takes a bite of it, and he just goes like, and tries to walk away. Like, he nods, and he's just like, tastes good. And he's trying to walk away, and Gordon's like, "Get back here." He's like, "What do you think?" And he's like, "I think the pasta's just done, and you can just taste the chili a little bit, and it's not too strong." And Gordo takes a bite, and he's like, "Good job, Dewberry." And it's like, wow. He did the damn thing.
He did it. Good job.
After having almost gone home the week before, Dewberry did good spaghetti. That's one for Dewberry. So then,
I was looking at my notes. It says, I said, like, book solid, why? And it's because last week it was the first night Hell's Kitchen opened and no dinners came out, but then tonight it's booked solid. And I'm like, well, why?
Yeah, because they're paying people to be there. No, they're like, because they want a taste of Gordon Ramsay's name or something like that.
But when you're not even going to get your food half the time.
If someone told you that they went to Gordon Ramsay's restaurant last week and they didn't get any food, but they were there for 3.5 hours, would you be like, yeah, but it's fucking Gordon Ramsay, and still go?
No, I'd be like, why?
You wouldn't go?
I wouldn't go.
You're lying.
No, I would not go.
I would go in a heartbeat. I'd set up a tent outside, just like the Beckley Chick-fil-A.
I'm not going to take that gamble.
I'm not going to take the gamble of not eating for 3 hours.
Yeah, if I'm going to go to a restaurant...
But if you do get to eat, it's going to be the best dinner of your entire life.
I could have a mediocre dinner and be guaranteed to get it.
Yeah, but if you do get it, it'll be so good.
That's not the point. Like, it's not a matter of when I get it. It's if I get it.
Yeah, but either way, what do you lose by going other than eating within the normal dinner time frame?
Probably thousands of dollars. I don't know what the
No, they don't make people pay for that shit.
Reservations? They don't make people pay.
They don't make people pay for that. No, not on Hell's Kitchen. They're trying to pack the place full. They don't make people pay for that. There's no way. There's no way.
I still wouldn't do it because I want to be able to go home saying, "Well, I ate."
That's the most important thing. Max is being able to say, "It was a good day, got in a meal. Good night, world. Good night, moon.
Good night, moon. Good night, sun. They're shooting my tongue, and it's fun."
Okay, well, alright. So my next note says Wendy is a moron. Because she's bad risotto.
Yeah, because I remember last week she was like in the middle of dinner service, was like, I forgot the potatoes.
Well, in this one, she just made the shittiest risotto anyone's ever seen. I don't even know what was wrong with it, but Gordon pretty much was like, get out of my face.
I think it was burnt.
Oh yeah, no, the rice was chewy.
The rice was chewy.
The rice was chewy, and so Ralph was just like, Wendy, do you want me to do this instead? And she was like, yes, please. And then Ralph did it, and it was good. So
what did Wendy end up doing after that? Nothing?
I guess nothing. My note here says Ralph took over because, okay, this note is really funny, but I'll tell you why I wrote it down. So it says Ralph took over, right? And the voiceover is like, Ralph's great performance on the appetizer station has really impressed Chef Ramsay. And I wrote, Gordo will remember that.
I'm not getting on board with Gordo still.
Well, you're gonna.
I'm not. I'll fight you tooth and nail every episode.
Well, whatever. Gordo will remember that. All you Telltale fans out there. Yeah, so the next one is Jeff's quote unquote kidney stones made him burn the spinach, right? So he served some sort of meat, and it was supposed to have spinach on the side, and he was like, Jeff, where's the spinach? And he was like, oh, it's over here. And Gordon's like, where is it? And he's like, it's over here, it's on the stove. And he's like, well, this food is getting cold, get the spinach, blah, blah, blah. And Jeff's like, okay, I'll get it. And then he goes to pull it out, and it's burnt. And Gordo's like, can you not see that this is burnt? Like, can you not see that the spinach is burnt? And just I was keeping it over here.
I didn't know kidney stones made you blind.
Yeah, I guess so. They probably can, maybe. Crazy things happen. But yeah, he's like, can you not see that this is burnt? And Jeff's like, well, I was keeping it over here.
That makes no sense.
And so I guess he was like just using one half of the pot while he left the burnt half on the other side of the pot. But Gordon was like, no, that's not how this works. He'll like throw it out and start again. And Jeff goes to put the pot underneath the counter. And Gordon goes, hey, what did I say? I said throw it out. And Jeff's like, I'm getting it out of the way. And he said, so you can use it later? No, I said throw it out. And so I think he called Jeff out on this one too. I think that Jeff was going to do that. He made Jeff throw it in the trash so that Jeff wouldn't try to sneak it in later instead of having to cook fresh spinach. And that just goes to show you what kind of guy he is. But then he's like, oh, then my kidney stone started acting up and so I couldn't focus. And it's like,
burn my hand on the stove.
Yeah, no, and like literally after that, he's like, well, the pain from my kidney stones was just blinding. And it was like literally after all the shit, like he was fine. He was totally fine until he burned the spinach.
And now he's blaming it on his
kidney stones.
His kidney stones.
Yeah. So back in the blue kitchen where it's like 140 degrees or something crazy like that, super hot. Michael, my favorite one on the blue team, who, just as a note, did not lose the challenge. He had to sit out of the squid cleaning challenge, right?
Yeah, if he was on the team, they would have won.
Yeah, for sure. Because he actually knows how to do anything. But so he was in the kitchen and he goes, oh, it's hot in here. And, Gordon said something that he was like, yeah, hot enough for you, Michael? And Michael, like, I saw him, like, genuinely smile, like, haha, yeah. And then Gordon was like, I don't need a fucking jokester up in here. He's like, I don't remember exactly what he said, but he was like, maybe, if you don't want it to be so hot in here, maybe you should win a fucking challenge. And I was like, he didn't even lose the challenge, dude.
You made him sit out.
Like, give Michael 1 second. Like, Michael is one of the only ones in the show, I think, that is actually chill. Yeah. It's like Michael and Elsie, my top two, in my heart, forever. Michael and Elsie. But yeah, so he yells at Michael, whatever. And so then we get back to Gordo's roasting corner, where unhappy patrons come up to the window, which Chef Ramsay hates more than anything, according to the voiceover. And this guy comes up and he's like, hey, I was just wondering where our food's at.
More than war, more than poverty, he hates people coming up to his fucking window.
Sorry, I don't
laugh. Fucking laugh. My joke was so funny.
This guy comes up and he's like, we just really like to have our food, please. And Gordon's like, okay, we're working on it, whatever. And he's like, I'd just like to know, like, what the holdup is or whatever. And Gordon's like, why don't you take a look behind me? It's a new fucking restaurant. Now fuck off. And tells him off. And the guy doesn't like it again.
Yeah, like these people, like this is my thing again. Like, do these people not know where they are?
It's like when people go to that restaurant where they put the white hat on you and just insult you the whole time.
I don't like that.
That's what people want out of Gordon Ramsay's kitchen. They want to get roasted. Because these people walk up to the counter all hoity-toity. The producers are like, why don't you go make a fuss? They're like, hey, you want $25?
This isn't even the worst of it. $25? You think I'm going to go insult Gordon Ramsay for $25?
Yeah, but Gordo's like, they gave you $25, didn't they? 25 American dollars. 50. He's in on it too. Gordon Ramsay doesn't talk to people like that. We've seen MasterChef Junior. Gordon Ramsay's not really like this. It's all for show and I love him. Thanks, Grandpa. Well, I guess now we're going to call Gordon Ramsay Grandpa this show. But anyway, so.
I feel like that'll insult him more.
I mean, he's got like adult children. How old's Tilly?
Like in her teens?
Yeah. I thought she was like Bendy Sue Irwin's age.
She's like in her late teens, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, anyway. So, back in the red kitchen.
Do these guys know where they are? This is Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah, so this guy totally pissed off Gordo, of course, by coming to the window and being like, "Where's our food?" And he's like, "Why don't you take a wild guess where your food is? There's a shit show going on behind me."
Yeah, and then he turns to the kitchen and he's just like, did you see what just happened? Because of you, I have people coming up to the window and berating me.
He's like, "Leave me alone," or make them leave me alone. So then back in the red kitchen, Dewberry did a good job on the spaghetti.
But that's it.
Yeah. And then he just shut down completely. They put him on the meat station and he cooked the lamb perfectly, but like undercooked the Wellington, the beef Wellington.
Yeah.
Or no, he overcooked the beef Wellington and all this stuff. And it's like he does one thing wrong and he just completely shuts down. And then that's when Gordon gets upset.
He's like, I'm so confused. Like all through the kitchen, which I get. It can be it's very stressful.
Yeah, and so
I sympathize with him.
And so Gordon calls him like useless. He's like, "You're completely useless. Do you know that?" And Dewberry's like, "Yep, sure do. Bye." And then I wrote here in all caps, "Cleaver," because they show a hunk of meat and then it's like Hell's Kitchen, ka-chonk, hits it with a cleaver.
That's the sound of meat, ka-chonk.
Yeah, I went to culinary school. That's the sound that meat makes. But then it's like Hell's Kitchen, ka-chonk. And then it comes back, and Dewberry did not leave because he said he was going to storm out, and he took one look at Elsie, and he saw her face, and he knew that he couldn't abandon his team.
Yeah, and everyone was just like, Dewey.
Yeah, everyone. Everyone was like, Dewey, come on.
Dewey,
like,
don't take the basketball home.
They really kind of like rallied around him. It was actually kind of a beautiful moment because you could tell he got upset, and then he went to leave, and they were like, Dewey, and man, I think this was a beautiful moment in reality television because you see the moment where Dewberry makes eye contact with Elsie and decides that he can't go. It's actually kind of beautiful because I think he really cares about them. He really cares about the team. He just got overwhelmed, which
I get.
Yeah, and he came back and he was like, I'm gonna do it or whatever. And Gordon was like, "Never abandon your team." And he was like, "I know." So Dewberry knew that he did not do right. But I really think that was a beautiful moment.
That was a beautiful moment. Back in the shit show that is the dining room, somebody, can I say it?
Yeah.
Somebody ordered a fucking pizza.
They ordered a pizza. They were so upset about it taking so long. And this is a different table from the guy that was being an asshole a minute ago.
Yeah, this was like a family.
Like they came up to the window and Gordon told him to fuck off or whatever. So they told this girl and this guy, they were like, he was like, "Can you please fuck off? Like, I'm busy, obviously." And they go back to the table and they're like, "He told us to fuck off." And this guy's like, "He did what? You tell him to say that to me." Cut to, they ordered a fucking pizza. And so they bring it in.
And John Philippe's is like, "Excuse me, it's the law.
Yeah, he's like, "You literally cannot do that. There is a law against this." And he's like, "You don't tell me what the law is, buddy." And JP said, like, "I wish your education was as good as your mouth," or something like that. Like,
yeah.
"I wish you were as smart as your mouth."
And the guy gets up, he's like, "I have a doctorate in music."
He's like, "What's your highest level of education?" "I have a doctorate in music." "What education level are you at?" And JP goes, I am educated. And he's like, "You are not as educated as me, buddy. So you don't get to tell me that I don't know what I'm talking about, buddy." And pushed him. He shoved him.
Shoved him good.
He shoved him good. And they said, "You're out of here, bud. You're out of here.
Get your pizza and run.
Get your pizza and get the fuck out." And so word gets back to Gordo that his maitre d', get her done,
has been assaulted.
And so he's like, "You know what? Shut it down. Shut it down." And that's the end of the second night of Hell's Kitchen.
Another disaster. Another beautiful disaster.
Was it beautiful?
Another day, another disaster.
And Gordon, when he's going over it again, he can't choose who's the best. So he's going over like who got the most food out. Like the blue team got the most entrees out, but they liked the red team's appetizers more and just stuff like that. But the blue team wins once again because they ended up getting more entrees out and people liked their food more. So far it's like, I think Gordo kind of favors the red team, but they're not doing as well in dinner service.
Yeah.
Well, maybe he doesn't favor the red team. I'm starting to sound like Andrew and Wendy. But yeah, so the blue team wins the dinner service. And Chris actually kind of stepped up to the plate and was like helping.
He was like showing Elsie like how to like get the X marks on the grill.
Yeah, like on the salmon and stuff. So he stepped up and was like helping out the team. I think the biggest thing is that he kept his fucking mouth shut and like did his job.
And he was like, "Come on, red team, we're halfway there."
Yeah, so he was like encouraging people. He really kind of kept to himself and just like got the work done. And Gordon really appreciated that. So he chose Chris to put 2 folks up for elimination. He said, go back to your dorms for 30 minutes and let people bother you about it for a little bit.
Let people guilt trip you.
Let people get in your face about it.
Let Jeff
you
tell
know
you about
one
his
person
kidney
we haven't
stones.
mentioned this entire episode?
Who?
Jimmy.
What did Jimmy do?
Jimmy's on the red team. We just forgot about him.
Oh, fuck.
He's
He
just
is on the
chilling,
red
though.
team.
Jimmy's just chill.
He's coasting by.
Yeah, the reason that I thought about him was because they show, the montage of people bothering Chris back in the dorm. And Jimmy, and like the thing is, everybody is always chain smoking on the show. Everybody's chain smoking. Dewberry is laying on a hammock smoking a cigarette. Chris is just sitting there sucking them down one after the other. And like Jimmy is like, hey man, I just want to let you know, if you choose me to put up for elimination tonight, it's no hard feelings. It's been a pleasure working with you. I'm chill as fuck. And Chris is like, thanks man, I appreciate that.
Man, all these people are probably dead now with all the chain smoking.
I don't think they're dead now. We'll see.
We'll see. It's been
I don't think they're
13
dead
years.
It's been. So, yeah, so Jeff is telling him, I was just in so much pain. The kidney stones. It just hurt so bad. The kidney stones made me burn the spinach and my kidneys. My kidney. Oh no.
My tummy.
So, yeah,
and then he just collapses and falls off the balcony.
Well, and then Dewberry's just like, I'm going home. I know it. He's laying on a hammock smoking a cigarette. He's like, I know I'm going home. I should have never abandoned the team. Blah, blah, blah. And, everyone's like, no, you're not going home, Dewey.
What matters is that you came back.
Yeah, I think it does matter that he came back, man.
He came back.
I think it does matter that he came back. But anyway, so they go back to the elimination. Yeah, Lucas says here, they always drinking and smoking in this place all the damn time. Oh yeah, because they go back to the dorms for 30 minutes and Chris is drinking a beer. I was like, you guys are crazy.
You know what? After a day in Hell's Kitchen, you need one.
It's like, I got 30 minutes. I better get this one in.
They're probably sponsored by a bunch of different.
Yeah, maybe so.
They're just like, oh man, I need to drink.
Well, and he works in a kitchen, so maybe it's just like his routine.
Yeah, man.
Get done with the dinner service, go have a beer, go back and tell one of your friends to go home.
Like, he comes to look at the camera, it's just like, man, after a hard day at Hell's Kitchen, I sure could use some Bud Light.
Yeah, I sure could use a classic Bud Light. But yeah, so everybody's, trying to tell Chris why they shouldn't leave. The worst one is Jeff, because he's like, I was just in so much pain with my kidney stones, blah, blah, blah.
I shouldn't be drinking this beer, but my kidneys need it.
And I think Chris is drinking the beer, not Jeff.
I was making a joke.
Oh. Next one, it says, candle smoke is a pitchfork. Candle smoke is a pitchfork. There's a candle and they blow it out and the smoke is like, this is a pitchfork.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about last week with the transition to commercial shots.
It's all like hell.
It's all like
the theme is hell in kitchens.
Hell in kitchens. You blow out the candle in the dinner service, but the smoke is a pitchfork rising from the ashes.
Because you're in hell.
Welcome to hell.
Stop that. That's for our Hotel Hell series, which I cannot wait for. Stay tuned. Maybe we'll do that one next. After Hell's Kitchen Season 1.
Oh my god. Hotels.
You've
Bananas.
seen so much. We'll do that. We're making the decision. If you like this one, get ready for Hotel Hell. And if you've never seen Hotel Hell, holy shit.
It's bananas.
I've seen exactly 1.5 episodes.
And that one episode tells you all about it.
It's crazy. Okay, anyway. So Chris nominates for elimination Jeff and Dewberry.
Kidney stones Jeff.
And Sketty Burry. Yeah? Dewberry.
Sketterbury.
Scoobery.
Scooby-Doo.
But so Gordo says, Chris, that's the right choice. That's the right choice.
I 110%.
Yeah, he said he agrees with him 110%. I was like, oh, shit.
Margin of error, 10%.
So Gordo asks them, why should you stay in Hell's Kitchen? Dewberry's like, I'm sorry, I gave up on the team. He's like, I realized that I never should have done that. If you give me a second chance, I'll never do it again. Right?
And Jeff's like, I think I really put the team first. As you understand, I was in a lot of pain tonight.
Because I have really bad kidney stones, blah, blah, blah.
Which I'm not going to the doctor for because it's actually fine.
Yeah, right. So
my kidney stones are chill, guys.
Yeah. So he says, and this, I believe, is our moment of wisdom for the week. This is my pick for our Gordon Ramsay piece of wisdom. He says, but you're a shit cook. You really are shit, is what he says to Jeff. Because Jeff is like, I put the team first. And he's like, yeah, but you're a shitty cook.
What?
Classic
Gordon.
Gordo. Then, unfortunately, R.I.P. Dewberry. He goes home. Aww. He kept Jeff, this kidney stone laden motherfucker, sent home my boy Dewey, even after that moment. And I'm like passionate about that moment where Dewberry's about to leave the kitchen.
Yeah, but Jeff will pass those kidney stones.
But will he pass Gordon Ramsay's next test?
This test is passing the kidney stones.
How's the theme song go? I fucked it up again. That's not
even close.
What am I doing wrong? How would I forget?
You have to, it's like a crescendo. It's like.
See, once you do it, I know, but.
But anyway, Dewberry went home.
Yeah, Dewberry went home.
Dewberry and his nipples went home. They were really prominent.
Because he's like, take off your jacket and get out of Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah, they have to take off their jacket and get the hell out of Hell's Kitchen.
So I guess Max noticed Dewberry's nipples. I did not, because I was like, man, fuck Jeff. That's how I feel. But then he takes their jackets and like shoves them on a meat hook, which is like so
pierces,
extra.
Which is like pierces through them. I'm like, what if somebody needs those?
Like, what a waste of a good jacket, right?
Sell them on eBay, dude.
Or cut the name out and put another name on it. Now you're just putting a big ass hole in an otherwise perfectly fine jacket.
It's to make it. Maybe it's not even the actual jacket.
No. It's got their names on it because he hangs them up. There's
maybe they make copies.
He hangs them up as they go, and so you know that you're as they get down. Like Carol Ann's was the first one, now Dewberry's, and then it said next time on Hell's Kitchen, and we turned it off because no spoilers.
No spoilers. Next week on Hell's Kitchen, will Jeff pass his kidney stones? We will be pushed in a cage depending on our answer.
Yeah, I can't say anything because I know what happens on the next episode of Hell's Kitchen because I've seen all of season 1.
It's painful. Is it a painful passing?
I think that everything that Jeff is involved in my opinion, is painful because I think he's such a dipshit. So, but thank you for listening to season 1, episode 2 of Hell's Bitchin.
Okay, what were your favorite parts of this episode?
My favorite part of this episode is when Dewberry was about to leave the kitchen and the team rallied around him and he made eye contact with Elsie and he decided he had to stay.
My favorite part was when they ordered fucking pizza.
My other favorite part is when Elsie made that good dick joke.
My favorite part is when Andrew was like, fuck Gordon Ramsay, 3-star Michelin chef. There is not a hole in that squid.
Yeah, and my other favorite part is when Wendy's like, I'm a perfectionist, but then fails to do anything perfectly.
I forgot the potatoes.
And then oh my gosh, when Gordo has to tell Jeff to not sneak the spinach in, I was like, what does that say about Jeff as a person that you know that he absolutely was going to do that?
He's greasy.
I bet that Gordon's seen people do that too. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
That he's like, throw it away, and they're like, well, I'm just going to sneak it in later. So they don't have to do as much work.
Yeah. Not in Gordon's kitchen.
Not in Gordon Ramsay's kitchen. Not in Hell's Kitchen. Most fucking certainly not.
Everything surrounding Gordon Ramsay is hell.
Stop it. You've seen MasterChef Junior.
I mean, as far
He's
as
a good dude. Gordo's a good dude. I'm here to tell you guys, Gordon Ramsay's a good dude.
I was talking about his main 3 properties. Hell's Kitchen, Kitchen Nightmares, Hotel Hell.
I don't think Hotel Hell is one of Gordo's main properties. Thank you for listening to Season 1, Episode 2 of Hell's Bitchin'. We'll be back next week with Season 1, Episode 3. If you like the show, feel free to tell your friends. Leave us some comments. Reblog, retweet, regram.
Give us attention.
Please give us attention.
Please, our parents never gave us any attention.
Thank you again for listening. And until next time, you're a shitty cook.
Fucking yes, mate!